Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be making some burnt ends out of some pork belly. Got this beautiful piece of pork belly that we just got. Steel wrapped. It's about 10.5 pounds or so. Going to show you how to go through, clean up the backside with the old fat. We're going to cut into about 1 inch, 1.5 inch cubes. Today's seasoning we're going to use is Meat Church Barbecue, The Gospel. You guys haven't tried this, get on this game. It's really, really good. They have a big line of different rubs for all kinds of meats. It's really good. And then we're gonna make a barbecue sauce. We're gonna do a mixture of I like a Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. It's kind of tangy. We're gonna throw some honey in there to give it that stickiness that we want for the cubes once we get those going. So let's go through and get this started here. First thing I'm gonna do, I got my boning knife. I'm just gonna cut straight down the middle to make it easier for me to work with. There we go. Look at that. Make some bacon. Okay. Now what you want to do is, you see that's fresh right there, and then you have this that's kind of old, right? You want to get rid of that. You don't want that to be part of your cook. You see, I mean, you can see the difference in the color here. You want to get rid of this older fat here. So it's real simple. It's about, I'm going to say, 1/8 of an inch or so. So don't go ahead and take off all the fat, because that's what gives it flavor. So just go through and start cutting it off. And you know what? I'll do this. I'll cut it. I'll cut this piece off. I guess you see what I'm talking about. I don't want to cut too deep into the new fat. There we go. So you see that? I mean, it's older, and then you want to get rid of that, and I'll show you guys the difference now. I mean, you guys can see the color difference here. So you want to get rid of that older fat there. It's not gonna, there's nothing wrong if you leave it, but you get better flavor with newer fat. So little by little, start pulling it back. And I'll do it on one, and then I'll cut them up and everything. Then I'll work on the second half that we have over here, and then I'll come back to the video of when we're going to go ahead and season it with the gospel that we have going on here. So here we go. So hopefully everybody had a good New Year's. We had a delicious prime rib that was prepared by Travieso's Kitchen New Year's Eve. It was fantastic. I have a prime rib as well in the fridge that I'm gonna get into later on. I'll make a video on how to prep it, how to season it. I'm debating on how to do that one. If I'm gonna go ahead and slice up the meat first to put some seasoning in between it, or just to do the outer seasoning. So we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video as I continue. As you guys can tell, again, fresher fat versus the older fat. And then I'll come back once this is done, once that one's done, and then we'll continue on with the slicing. Okay, see you in a bit. All right, so I already went ahead and continued a little bit. I sliced them, and I'll show you guys on the other one once I clean it up again. And one thing I forgot to mention is you want to make sure that you cut this with a very sharp knife first off, and then also when it's cold. When it's at room temperature, well, first off, pork shouldn't be at room temperature, but it'll slide around a lot more, and it'll be a lot harder to cut through. So make sure you guys, if you guys are going to do this with any type of pork, actually cut it as soon as you guys take it out of the fridge. And that's the reason why, to make sure that it doesn't jiggle all around. So the other thing with burnt ends, what you want to do is try to keep the sizes similar in size so that they cook all at the same time evenly. You don't want a huge piece and then a small piece, because then that'll burn the small piece or leave the huge piece raw. So I'm gonna do a couple more of these, and then I'll season them. I'll show you guys right now, and then I will continue with the other one. There we go. Out of these strips, most of the pork bellies are usually the same width. So Should get, I don't know, 6, 7 of these pieces. Let's see here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this one's kind of small. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that one. So around 6 or 7 is good. So I'll show you guys here what you're gonna need. So again, you wanna spread these out. And the reason why you wanna cut them up is you wanna put the seasoning. I mean, you want to be liberal on the seasoning, just everywhere on the meat itself, so that every single piece of meat has flavor. Also, some people like to cook it whole, and then they cut it up into these cubes. I think you miss out on the sides. So, I mean, you're either going to get the inside or the outside. So, let's say this looks like it was an inside piece, right? So you would just have seasoning maybe on top and the bottom, but nothing on the sides, which to me matters, right? You have to flavor. I've said that in all my videos. You have to flavor all the sides. So, give me 1 second. Let me wash my hands from this pork so I could get the seasoning. All right, very good. Again, what you guys want to remember: whenever you touch chicken or pork, you want to wash your hands so you don't cross-contaminate. So, in this instance, I'm going to go through and just use one hand to go through and season, and the other is going to go ahead and spin the meat around, and then eventually I'll use both. Okay. And if you have one of these little racks, these little cooking racks, it's recommended that you have that ready, so once they're seasoned and you could put them on there for cooking, and then just put this onto the smoker. You don't want to leave the smoker door too open for such a long time, because you can lose a lot of the heat. Right now we have the smoker at 270. 270 should give us a complete cook in about 2.5 hours, so 2.5 hours. What I want is the meat to be probe ready. I don't even want to hit the temperature. The temperature for pork, you're looking at about 200, 202. I'm kind of like a brisket. What I want is for, and this is a massive probe. Let me get a smaller one. Something like that. So either way, I have my probe outside. So what you want is for the probe to just go in without even forcing it. It'll just smoothly go in there. That gives you the doneness. Either way, you're going to go ahead and sauce it. And then once you sauce it, you're going to put it back in there for 30 minutes. So it will cook. So we're going to start here with the gospel. And again, really put this across all pieces of meat on here. You want everything to be completely covered. There we go. We'll toss these around a little bit. And in case you guys were wondering, this has salt, sugar, some spices, paprika, garlic, celery is huge. You can smell the celery on here. So again, going in for round 2, because again, we want these to be fully coated. Do not be shy when it comes to the burnt ends. Seasoning matters a lot. Let's split that open here. Okay. And before you even put these onto the smoker, you're going to have to let these rest for about 10-15 minutes. And the purpose of that is so that the seasoning can work all the water content and pull it out so that it cooks well. You can throw them on there now, but it will take a little bit longer because the water will first have to come out and dry out before the meat starts cooking. So just seasoning them and then letting them sit will allow that water content to come out. Just making sure that every piece has seasoning here. Oh, that looks so good. There we go. See, you can have that. Just grab the seasoning. Boom. So again, I'll just grab a random piece. This one was on top. You want seasoning everywhere here on this little cube. And then the purpose of this rack, again, once you're ready, I like to put them with the fat up so that when it starts rendering, it comes down towards the meat, and it just makes it a lot juicier and better to eat. So let's see here. I'll start prepping some of these. I'll let these sit while I go ahead and set up the other half of the pork belly here. Let's see here. Oh, that's a pretty big piece. Look at that. That's normally it's double. I'm gonna cut it right down the fat here. Season that side. There you go. That's the other piece right here. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue placing them on the rack here, and then I'll continue on with this piece that I have down here on trimming it, and then I'll show you guys how to cut it, and then the rest of the steps are the same. So we'll be back in a bit. All right, so here we have another piece here. I already went ahead and I took up the skin. This is kind of how it should look. I kind of went a little deep here, so it's exposing meat. It's fine. So this here should give me enough for 3 cubes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and just line it up here and up here, and then just go straight down. And this is how you're gonna go ahead and cut it. Okay, and again, this one's been sitting out more, a little bit longer than the other one, so that's why it's moving around a lot more. So, like I mentioned, you want to go through and cut it as soon as it's out of the fridge to ensure that it doesn't jiggle and wiggle around. You guys can see here. Okay, very good. And see, this kind of stretched out, so all you gotta do is kind of bunch it back up, and get the meat back on there. And then we said that we'll get about 6-7 pieces, so we'll see how many you can get out of this one. 6-7 pieces per strip. Let me clarify that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm gonna do an end here, but then I'll throw, because this is mostly all fat here. So, like I mentioned, I want to make sure that we keep them all kind of the same size. You know what, that one? See, that's all fat. I don't want that. Let me check that one out. You know what? That one's all fat too. You know what? I'll just get rid of these 3 pieces. So see, it turned out to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So, transfer them over to the saucing pan here. Got this. When working with pork, it's super important you wash your hands. Warm water with soap. So, I already showed you guys how to season it. It's got to be seasoned completely. This was the first one. It's been sitting out for about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit more. And I'm just going to continue with these. These I'm going to go ahead and put directly onto the smoker itself. Just because I only have 1 rack. And I'm going to cook these up too. So in about 20 minutes or so, I'll put all of this back into the smoker. And we'll cook it. Again, there'll be about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then I'll come back and I'll show you guys the sauce that I'm going to make. It's going to be like I mentioned, it's going to be a barbecue sauce with a little bit of honey to give it that tanginess from the barbecue sauce. It's a really good Jack Daniel's sauce that I was able to pick up. And then we'll throw some natural honey on there. And it works. It makes it so delicious. And then we'll put it into a pan, sauce them, and enjoy them. So see you guys in about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and let these rest as well. And again, you got to make sure you get a full coating on here. Look at that. I mean, you got to get the seasoning everywhere. So don't be shy. I mean, when I opened up this bottle, it was brand new. We took half the bottle on less than 10 pounds of meat right now because I have this other slab of the pork here that I'm not going to use. I'm going to freeze this, possibly make some chicharrón mexicano. So make some tacos with that later on. So I'll come up with a video for that. But cool. See you guys in about 25, 30 minutes. All right, so we're out here now. Get my grills at 271 right now. I went ahead and took some time, and those extra pieces, I lined them up already. And now we're gonna get the grate here. Whoa. So we get this together. Oh yeah, there we go. So you can see here, I mean, look at all the water coming out from the seasoning that we used. Pulling it out. So it's gonna be about 2.5 hours or so. I'm gonna check it out like in an hour, and then I spritz it with some apple cider vinegar to make sure they don't dry out. And then again, here's the probe that I'm using. So once this probe just goes in smoothly, then I know that we're good to go. So check you guys out like in an hour or so. Okay, thanks. All right, we're out here at the 1 hour mark right now. We're gonna go ahead and I filled up this little spray bottle here with some, this is just straight apple juice. So just gonna, there we go. Starting to smoke. See it here. Oh man, that looks so good. Start over here. There we go. And that is more or less just to make sure that the meat doesn't dry out, that it stays nice and moist. And then give it another 1.5 hours or so. We'll check it out, see if it's ready to be pulled and sauced. All right, so it's been about 2.5 hours right now. I'm gonna go and check it out, see how we're looking. It's at 274 right now on the, oh wow. Let me show you guys here. Move this here. So we talked about checking it with the probe, right? So I'm gonna grab the probe here, and I put a glove on for me to be able to grab them. So right now it says 81 here. So what I want to do, I just want to go in. Oh, look at that, no effort whatsoever. It's at 200 and, oh wow, we're a little bit over. It's at 215. So, but that's okay. That's what I was looking for. See, that one's at 195. So those were the first ones that I put in without the little grate here. So all I'm gonna do is grab them, start putting them into the pan for us to go ahead and sauce them. And the sauce, we're gonna use a 3-to-1 method. And what that's gonna be, or measuring, I should say, not method. I'm gonna use 3 parts of the barbecue sauce to 1 part of the honey. Okay, and so we grab these. Oh, we're falling apart now. Here we go. There we go. And they're so soft. I can feel them just being so tender and juicy. I mean, there. And you can see that it's awesome. Right, so kind of what we were looking for. I'm about to get smoked on right now. Let me bring down the temperature. There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do is here with the saucing of the burnt ends. All right, I'm gonna use this Jack Daniel's sauce. I'll close this up because the smoke is coming out. Give me 1 second. Oh, got it on my face. All right, so we got this Jack Daniel's sauce, really good original barbecue sauce, and then I got some organic honey here, real good stuff. And kind of what you want to do is, let me get the sauce open here. So you want to get a cube, right? And you kind of want to make sure it's glazed everywhere, right? So that's kind of the look you want to get. You don't want to have your burnt ends swimming in about an inch of sauce. So I'm gonna go through and spread this across here. Again, we're gonna do about 3 parts of this barbecue sauce and 1 part of the honey for that sticky sweetness. All right. And it's always best to be a little bit short on the sauces, whether it be the honey or the barbecue. And the reason why is because you could go through and add more. Once you sauce, you can't go back and take it away. Okay. Bring this temperature down more. There we go. So that it stops smoking. So, there we go. All right. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to start turning this over. That wasn't that bad. In the sauce, I don't see a lot of sauce at the bottom, which is what you want. And once we put it back into the smoker, what we're going to do, we're going to put it in there for anywhere from 35 minutes to an hour, depending on how far down it takes or how long it takes for the sauce to break down and caramelize. So I'll come and check it every 15 minutes or so, just to make sure. And again, this here, I'll show you guys, that is what you want. That's the ideal coating that you want. You want it to be fully coated, just like when we first did the rub. You want to make sure that you have enough of the rub all over. There we go. I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now. So now we're gonna put this back in here. Put it right in the middle there. And we're going to keep it at the same temperature, which was 270. So I'm going to put my temperature back up. All right. So it's back at 270. Again, it'll be 25, 30 minutes. I'll come check it out. Give it a twirl and see if it's good. If I'm happy with the stickiness of the sauce and how it looks and feels, we'll pull them and let them sit for another 15 minutes, and then we'll be ready to eat. So see you guys in about 30. So it's been about 45 minutes or so since I first put the sauce on the burnt ends and put them back on the grill. I kept it about 270 for 20-30 minutes, and then I brought it down to 250 and I let it ride there for another 25 minutes just to go ahead and break down the meat more, for them not to continue cooking more or less as well. Extremely happy. They've been resting now for about 15 minutes. So here is the, I mean, they're fresh to me being able to carry them. So they look fantastic. I'm so pleased with the color. I'm gonna try them out now. See, I'll get a, oh, that one looks good. So check that out right there. I mean, perfect seasoning. You got, I mean, the stickiness. I don't touch it with my hand, but got the stickiness of the honey, the barbecue caramelized perfectly. It's a one bite. I mean, the flavor of the fat, the meat. Oh my goodness, real good, real juicy. You can taste the flavor of the Jack Daniels. There's the rub. Fantastic. Extremely happy with this. Had done them in the past and never recorded it, but wanted to share it with you guys. Again, one of the important things is not over saucing them. You don't want to pick them up and for them to be dripping. It's just messy. You want to allow the heat and the smoke to allow the sauce to go ahead and and caramelized breakdown. Oh gosh, I'm gonna need another one. Uh, the God, look at that. I mean, see, if we would have had the nasty fat on there that I didn't cut off, remember I cut off the top layer of the fat. I mean, that was already hard, so this would have been like super hard, and I don't know. That's just nice, clean fat with the meat. The meat looks delicious. I mean, it's, you can see the little piece here just hanging. Oh yeah, that's a winner. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Try it out. I used maybe 2/3 of the 10.5 pounds of the pork belly. So, and it's quite a bit. I mean, again, it's one of those half trays, but you guys can see it's full. Delicious. I'm gonna continue eating now. This pairs well with like a coleslaw. Eventually, probably tomorrow, I'll use the Hawaiian breads and make some sandwiches with that. So very versatile. Try it out. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Tell your friends to subscribe. Thank you. Smoking DJ out.